spent the best days of my life with you.
If you're now I
Watching clouds form in the distance.
Good, Megan.
I watch the sunset on the beach with you. It's not over.
I need like
I want your love, and I want it bad. I just wanna treat you better. I just wanna treat you better. I want your love.
All right, typically how we start this day.
I just wanna treat you better.
Drop it.
I just wanna treat you better.
They're still asking for the link, so I'm gonna keep it going. I'm at this villa in Sri Lanka, but it looks like I'm in Greece.
Let's begin again. Let's get back to where we started.
Hello, Audrey.
When there was talk of getting older.
Thank you for telling me.
I'll be waiting by the water.
Stephanie, I'm so glad you're here.
Let's start over.
But I just saw like the first line of what you just said. I'm like, yes, let it go.
I just wanna treat you better. I want your love, and I want it bad. I just wanna treat you better. I just wanna treat you better.
Can you hear it okay?
I know that the
I
world's
hear music, and I don't know if you can hear me.
that your heart
I'm trying to figure out how to mute myself.
I just wanna treat you
While we
better.
drop in, let me know when you guys are calling.
I just wanna treat you better. Even when the light can't find me, I know that the sun keeps shining. I just wanna treat you better. 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 I want your love, and I want it bad. I just wanna treat you better. I just wanna treat you better. I want your love, and I want it bad. I just wanna treat you better. I just wanna treat you better.
Put it live for you. And yeah, we'll get started here in just a minute. Like I said, we've got women spanning the globe. It's so much fun. Oh my God, my head hurts. Like I get so excited and then I don't know. I'm like, I can't stop smiling. It's so intense. All right. Yeah. No one has told me where they are calling in from yet. So I'll just wait. All good. All good. I'm good at waiting. I'm really good at
Yeah,
the
am I
awkward
on mute?
silence.
Let's see. This is Melissa. Am I on mute or no?
No.
Okay, I can't figure out how to mute myself. Are you able to mute me so I'm not interrupting you?
Yes. I got you, Melissa. You are muted. All right. Heather is tuning in from Boulder, Colorado. Yeah, Elena is calling from Sri Lanka. Elena was just in the town that I'm in right now. I think yesterday or today. So it's exciting to have you in here. DC, yeah, I know I was gonna say I have a couple East Coasters in here, a couple ladies from Colorado tuning in, two or three from my Colorado fam. I'm super excited that you all are here. I think I have my recording going. Yes, I do. Okay, awesome. So this women's gathering, oh my gosh, it's so special because I'm doing something totally like kind of rogue, which once you get to know me, that's just how I operate. I'm like, squirrel. And I know it's like a gift. And yeah, I'm practicing like staying the course and staying with the vision while also following the intuition and the intuitive pings. And typically how these women's gatherings work. And honestly, like I don't really have much of a description about this gathering in particular. I know for some of you, I spoke to you directly and I was like, hey, I'm going to be teaching you ancient healing technology that has been alive for thousands of years, that has the possibility and potential to cure disease. It's completely opposite of everything that we've ever been taught as Westerners. Some of you have been in my in-person women's gatherings that are very somatic and very activating, which I'll tell you about here momentarily, but is like a totally different way of supporting clients than what I'm going to teach you today. And they're both right. They're both like a way to go. And the thing with this path and what I've been learning, and actually why I'm in Sri Lanka, is I did a 10-day Vipassana. So if you're familiar with Vipassana, it's a 10-day silent meditation retreat. Vipassana is like the most extreme out of all of the silent meditation retreats. I was getting up at 4 a.m. every day. Couldn't look at people in the eyes, couldn't journal, couldn't read. Couldn't touch people, and we meditated until 9 o'clock at night. So I think I got maybe 7 hours of sleep was like my average, which is good because I was either meditating or sleeping. But what I'm going to be teaching you today is inspired by some downloads and breakthroughs that I received through the 10-day Vipassana. And again, like how I operate with these women's gatherings is like, I'm a really clear channel in the work that I do. I am constantly like removing, clearing, moving energy through my body. And I have a really clear like access point to my guides. And actually I was with a brother the other day and he said that I had two guides. Like when I start to channel, he says that I have two. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Didn't know that. But yeah, like when I start to do this work, you'll even see me kind of close my eyes and I'll get into the flow of things. And that's because I'm really just out of my own way. I'm totally in my heart. I'm in my body when I'm doing these things. I'm not in my ego or in my conscious mind. And with that, like I create women's gatherings purely by feeling what is in the field. And typically what's alive for me is what's going to serve the collective, because I'm constantly working on clearing and elevating and channeling and tuning into like just truth, collective consciousness and truth. And so that's really what you can expect from today. So is this anybody's first women's gathering? By show of hands. Yes, Amanda, Heather, Stephanie, amazing. Elena. Yes, yes, yes. First one that Stacy is attending with you. Stacy, I'm so glad that you're here. Yeah, Stacy and I know each other from a different women's community. So I'm so glad that you're attending, babe. And one thing that so to set a few like ground rules and expectations. Number one, stay open, have fun. If I do something that triggers you today, that's a good thing. Like honestly, if I'm triggering you, then my work here is done. Like I'm glad. And I'm probably gonna do something that pisses you off today. Actually, I know I will because the exercise that I'm doing, I don't want to say too much ahead of time to plant too many seeds, but you know, some of you might show up here and be like, seriously, and so that's like the magic and the medicine of these spaces is as your guide, as your coach, and Megan, her and I are doing some work really intimately together, one-to-one. You know, at the first session, I was like, I'm going to say some things that piss you off. And you just have to understand that that's going to be the dynamic of our relationship, because if I didn't, then who? Right. And so we're in this relationship so that I can, you know, see blind spots, so that I can call out things that you might not be aware of. And to be honest, it's going to stretch you. It's going to put you into, yeah, like I'm moving you out of a state of homeostasis, of equilibrium, into action. And sometimes that's going to feel really uncomfortable. And that's the nature of this work. We're all here to grow and evolve, right? Like raise your hand if you're here to grow, to evolve, to learn new things. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Everyone says I do. I am. I'm clapping. Okay. Yeah. So that's like the essence of this. And it's totally normal. And nothing is ever personal. It's always personal, but really it's not at all. And especially when you like get deeper into this work, you know, as you're working with like these higher realms, higher dimensions, higher frequencies, you're here to just give and be that channel of truth and love and compassion and forgiveness. And you realize that when you trigger people, it actually has nothing to do with you. It's not a reflection of you. It's really their own, you know, unalchemized, unhealed parts of themselves that they get to be, that you're inviting them to look at. I mean, and hopefully you do, right? Because that's why we're all here. So I just wanted to name that before we get too deep into this. Again, my name's Kat, so I know that some of you guys are brand new to my world, and some of you have been here for ages. Stephanie is like an old time sister and friend of mine. She has seen me in so many different iterations. Part of my story is that I had a 9 to 5. I worked for the government for 6 years. I actually started as a Peace Corps volunteer, so that's part of my main mission, which stick around long enough and you'll see what I do with that. But yeah, when I was in the Peace Corps, I was diagnosed with celiac disease, which is actually a part of the inspiration that I'm going to bring into this space today. And yeah, that was back in 2016. It was absolutely psychosomatic. It was, you know, mind-body connection. And therefore, like my mind, because of the anxiety and the stress that I was feeling, created, like it had to take that energy out on some part, some place within my body. And so it took it out on my autoimmune system and became an autoimmune disorder. So I started this work after I got diagnosed with celiac. Before that, I was practicing yoga. It was cute, but definitely invested fully. I learned what a life coach was. I learned what a health coach was. And I was like, oh my God, this is it. Because before that, I worked for Pepsi. I worked for like an energy company. And I was like, I don't want to work corporate. Like, all of the parts of me, especially the rebellious parts and the parts that, you know, are inspired by my entrepreneurial parents. I did not want to work in an office under these like bright fluorescent lights. I felt like I had this calling for something more. And so as I worked in my 9 to 5, I also invested in myself. I put myself in rooms. I worked with coaches. I worked with different healers. I got certifications, and I really expanded my breadth and depth of knowledge as a multifaceted, multidimensional healer. So I'm going to teach you just one modality today. We're going to talk about a number of modalities. And my intention with this is just to add another piece of awareness, knowledge, practice to your toolbox. For me, I was talking to the founder of an ashram here in Sri Lanka, and if you pursue Vipassana meditation, you'll find out that it's very strict. You cannot practice technically in like the highest, purest forms of Vipassana. You don't practice any other modalities besides Vipassana meditation. So like energy work, somatic work, visualization work, like all of this, even like having a religious practice doesn't really go hand in hand with the style of meditation that I was just practicing. So that's one way. right? That's one way that you can practice and live and experience life. And that's a path to enlightenment. Okay. And we're not always supposed to, in this lifetime, realize the path of enlightenment, or the path of enlightenment can be realized in the presence of feeling the wind against your skin, right? And so there's so many different ways to experience God, to experience enlightenment, to experience what it means to be whole and integrated with the world around you, and realize that there's no separation, right? And that's an illusion. And yeah, I want you all, as your own intuits, healers, higher guides, the parts of you that know what's best for you, to continue to be self-guided, continue to be curious about all of the modalities that have supported you. I just took a Kriya certification over the summer. I'm absolutely in love with Kriya. Does anyone know what Kriya is here? Raise your hand. Yeah. Okay. Megan. Yeah. I got some head shakes. No. I know the Megans here. They both know Kriya. It's like a Kundalini practice, essentially. It combines breath and drishti and um, mudras, which are like hand gestures, and a couple other formulas. And it means evolutionary action. So you're basically doing a specific breath work in Kriya to create a specific result, right? And so that's basically the opposite of everything that Vipassana teaches. And I love it all. Like, and I'm an energy healer and I love to work with the chakras. And, I want to go study the Kabbalah. And if anyone has studied, let me know. And like, there's so many texts and modalities that are available to us. And so I believe, like, as self-healers and just being curious, open humans in general, you just stay open, right? Stay curious. See how this lands for you. Okay. So I'm going to give you a lowdown on how today is going to work. Again, I mentioned in the beginning, like, please give the chat some life. If you like flirt with each other on here, if you see somebody, if you like love their expression, give us your expression too. Maybe connect with each other on Instagram, be cheerleaders on your paths, right? Like, this is a circle and these are offered once monthly through the end of the year. But at the end of the year and the beginning of next year, I'm actually going to be shifting into a closed group format. And so some of the women in here are going to be sisters for life, right? Okay. And so that's what I want you to start to realize too, is these types of women's gatherings are, it's not just, again, like, okay, take a quick pill, you get a quick hit, this is an easy fix and it's done. This is like spiritual maintenance. This is like going to the gym for your highest evolution, for your highest timeline, for your highest spiritual practice, for your highest, most expanded consciousness. And so I want you to really see this as a place where you continue to show up to, when you continue to stay open and invested in yourself. Because when you buy a gym membership, or when you show up to like programs, you don't just show up for like a month and expect there to be change. It's actually a lifestyle, which is kind of hand in hand with the modality that I'll be teaching you guys today. How's that sound? How's that sound? Heather, you look so cozy. I love that blanket. Yes. Amazing. Okay, yeah, Megan's like, yes, I hear you. She was just in one of my women's gatherings, and it was an 8-week program. It was so amazing. And I think because of that, I'm actually going to be shifting formats to just like a continual, just ongoing space for you guys to land, because 8 weeks like ended and then you're like, oh wait, what do I do with my hands? Like, who do I call? Right? Versus like this continual space, like you have a membership, you can, continue to deepen and develop sisterhood with one another and within yourself. So, okay, let's see. I have 9 pages of notes. I'm halfway down the first page. Okay. Yeah, like I mentioned, be live in the chat. I love seeing you guys. Take boomerangs, take selfies, share on Instagram because I fully know and truly believe that the more people see and get exposure to this work, the more ripples you're creating in the world for collective healing. And by you all being here, I also know that you guys are light workers. And there's this resurgence and like big flow of light workers that are in the space. And when I say light worker, I also mean like highly intuitive, empathic, sensitive. Maybe you're like the black sheep in the family, the rebel, and you are here to do things differently. You want to live outside of the paradigm, outside of the matrix that the disembodied patriarchy has created. And so people need to see that there's another way. And so if you feel called, which please do, like share on Instagram, tag me. It's pretty simple. I am Kat Tovar because I want more people to be exposed to this work and get curious. I know Megan had a sister that was like, oh, what are these women's circles that you're doing? Like, I've noticed this really big shift in you. And so this is important that we start to bring like more people into this space. So yeah, please share. It would mean the world for me. Let's see. Okay, so really how today is going to go in the format that you can expect and how I formulate these women's gatherings is give like an intro overview. You guys know who I am now. And then I'll flow into sort of like a satsang, like just a spontaneous and spiritual talk. I'll open up the floor or open up the chat if you guys have anything else that you want to add and really set the frame and the stage for the practice that we'll be exploring today. And then I'm going to take you into an activation, into a practice. And then we're going to do some partner work with one another. And then there's going to be a time to come back into the space, share your experience. And then I'm going to be inviting you into something at the end, which you guys already heard about my ongoing membership, my women's group that I'll be opening up in the beginning of the year. But there's also an academy that I run, and I teach you all of the modalities and techniques under the sun that I know, so that again you can like continue to elevate your own consciousness, and when you do that, you're contributing to the collective consciousness and the expansion of the collective and the oneness that we all experience. So, like I mentioned, my path started from a deep place of suffering. It actually started even before my celiac disease. So I have two autoimmune disorders. One is my vitiligo. This started I was very young. I was 14. And when I was 14, I started drinking and having sex very young, and it was all trauma on the body. I didn't have clear boundaries. I didn't have a good relationship with my inner masculine. I didn't know how to use my voice. These are parts that were never really cultivated. And so I've had to do a lot of work even in the past like year. This entire year, pretty much since February, I've been celibate. I haven't engaged in any relationships. It's felt so good. It's felt so healing. And with that, I've been also like dabbling in sober and living like kind of sober curiously. Really reduced my intake of all substances. I gave up cannabis 100%. But with that said, my vitiligo has actually, it's starting to reverse. For the first time in 16 or 17 years, the pigmentation is coming back because I'm doing this work on my nervous system, because I'm finally creating those boundaries, because I'm creating balance and harmony and equanimity, which is what I'll talk about. So that's really like what this healing is about, is creating that equanimity, that non-reactiveness, and realizing that nothing is stagnant. So like I said, for the first time in 17 years, this disease is starting to reverse. Also, another disease that I've seen a massive reduction in symptoms of is my celiac disease. So back in 2016, you would have asked me and I would have freaked out. If a French fry was in a fryer with anything breaded, my stomach was bound to blow up. And like I would have to go home early from events. I would have crazy brain fog. I was suffering so much, so much. And it wasn't until my Vipassana when I started to get really bad a really bad ocular migraine, because that's also a symptom of agitation that I experience, which these ocular migraines have happened when I've been in medicine ceremonies. And I had the first ocular migraine that happened when I was sober this year, and I lost my vision for 5 days. So if, talk about God taking away your sight, if you don't want to look at the truth of what's there, my sight was taken away. And so in my Vipassana, I realized that, oh, I'm actually the perpetuator of the suffering and the pain that I experience in my life. And so that's really what I want to bring to this space today. But I also want you to realize that there's a difference between Western and Eastern healing. So really quickly and high level, through my Vipassana as well, I realized like me being a Westerner and being a healer, all I ever want to do is fix. I want to fix people. I want to fix things. I want to fix myself. I'm like, fix, fix, fix. I'm the fix-it woman, right? And so even when I was practicing Reiki, even when I was like holding intimate space for somebody and trying to be the healer for somebody else, I would start to feel the symptoms of my ocular migraine come on. One of the first is like this weird pressure behind my left eye, and then my vision will start to get like a little bit blurry. And I realized through my Vipassana that me trying to fix things was putting so much attachment to the thing itself. I was so associated in me being the fixer of the disease as it stands that I attached like my worth and my value to the result of that, right? And that actually is like perpetuating the pain rather than just letting yourself experience sensation, which we all experience. Okay. And so when I say like Western healing, what do I mean by that? I'd love to hear from you guys. Like, drop in the chat, what do you think it means when I say like healing from the Western lens? Yes, Megan. For emergencies, yeah. Fix the symptoms, not the root, yeah. Pills treating symptoms. Fix, remove all symptoms, yeah. Just had this conversation with a therapist this morning. I love that, Stacy. That's perfect timing. Yeah, see, like I had no idea that Stacy had this conversation with her therapist, but again, like because you're clear, because you're void of the programs and the disembodied patriarchy and the ego, that you're actually a clear channel and you can more easily tune into the collective. So that's like Stacy's, she's there, we're there together. Yeah, treating symptoms. Okay. Quick fix. Yeah, exactly. So Western healing, exactly. It sounds like the pill, right? Like you want, and this is something that I was after when it came to my ocular migraines, when it came to my celiac disease, when it came to my vitiligo on my hands. I just wanted a pill to make it go away. I wanted that lactose pill that they make for the freaking people that eat the cheese. I wanted that for my stomach. Okay. When it comes to my migraines, I was searching for a healer. And there came a point And I literally would think this to myself. I'm like, man, I really need a really knowledgeable, a really advanced healer that's going to heal my migraines. And that's giving your power away, right? That's giving your power away to somebody else beyond you to do your work. Okay. And don't get me wrong, like I'm a powerful healer. I see things. I have very like a lot of intuitive and clairvoyant and clairaudient and clairsentient tendencies, and I'm I have a lot, and nobody knows you better than you do. Okay, and you know that. You absolutely know that. Me, as your teacher, as your guide, as your facilitator, can hold the space and reflect things back. And that's what I'm going to do today. And like Megan said, through the Western perspective and the Western lens, like we need Western healing when we are in an active trauma response and like we need 911, it's an emergency, right? And so that's something that I realized um, through this 10-day retreat too is, oh my God, if somebody is in an active trauma response that comes to Vipassana, they're going to freak the fuck out. They are literally going to freak out because I, who have done so much work and have so many tools, modalities, freaked the F out. I was freaking out. I literally thought I was going to have a panic attack because sweat was dripping down my freaking face and there were mosquitoes buzzing in my ear. And that almost sent me off my rocker. And that was like a huge trigger for me. And then I had this like really big emotional purge, which I know like some of us need. Some of us really need some space to just do that emotional purge. And the reason I was able to sit down and do that work with myself by myself was because I have done so much of the Western healing and had the interventions, right? The work that I do when it comes to like my women's groups, it's a lot of trauma healing. A lot of work that I do one-to-one is like really deep, guttural, cathartic trauma healing in the most beautiful way because you need to clear that shit out so that you do have access to these higher channels, these higher frequencies, so that you can be your own self healer. But you do have to excavate. And sometimes it's like lifetimes, it's multiple generations of work that you are responsible for as a light barrier, as a light guardian, as a light keeper within your lineage to let go of. Because you ladies are here in this space, so I know that you're the chosen ones. Okay. And it's a big responsibility. So there's a time and a place to receive that support, to have the hand holding, to be triggered as fuck, to be, for that hands-on, interventional, intervening, space. And there's a time and the space, and the place for you to just be more witness. Right. And so that's really going to be the work that we're going to be doing today is looking through the lens of an Eastern healer, Eastern body, right? There's that book that I haven't read, but it just like keeps coming to my mind, Eastern body, Western mind. And so has anyone read that? Megan, I see you nodding your head. No, no. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, the Eastern philosophy that we're going to practice today and really like what Eastern healing means to me. And I'm actually curious before I go on my spiel, what does it mean to heal from an Eastern lens through Eastern philosophy? Yeah, it's on Elena's list too. Yeah. Yeah, drop in the chat. While you do, I'm going to add Eastern body, Western mind to my audiobooks. Oh, it's already saved, I think. Yeah. Yes, Stephanie, Steph, I love this. I resonate so deeply. Yeah, because Like sometimes you're so attached to the visualization and it coming true exactly how you want it to, right? And it creates like this feeling of lack, and it's actually an illusion. So with the visualizations, you have to be so conscious and cognizant of like the intention behind it and maybe the frequency of it, the energy of it, and visualization. Sorry, it came and it went. Yeah, I think like when we're visualizing so much, we start to get into this lack mindset, you know? Yeah. Because you're like, why isn't it here yet? What I have right now is like, and with that said, I want to mention, and this is something that I teach in Illum, which I'm actually recorded a video on this, or I will tomorrow, is on like the 3D versus the 5D in the physical realm versus the energetic, the higher realms and higher dimensions. And like energetically, you can choose what it is that you're cultivating in an instant, right? You can associate into the belief, the identity of that thing. But in the 3D, it like takes time because we live in a really dense world, the third dimension. And so when it's not happening quick enough because you thought about it yesterday, then it creates this not enoughness and this lack, and it's an illusion, right? And so that creates this like you're on the hamster wheel. Okay. Melissa, to shift from being the one to fix things a few years ago, I started to view myself as a balance bringer. Oh, I like that. Yeah, it's like harmony, balance. Yes. Finding acceptance and equanimity. I love it. I love it. Being present with what is. Heather, that's such a practice. Megan and I are always talking about that. We're like, presence, presence, your presence is a present. Yeah. Surrender, mind over matter. Okay. Good. So what I have really come to realize through sitting in this meditation course and then just continuing to be here and interacting with locals and going to ashrams and Buddhist temples and stuff is that this Eastern healing is actually like a remembrance, right? And similar to who is it? Melissa said, balance, right? It's like remembering what it means to be in that equanimity and that yin and that yang. And that's really like when you're in perfect balance, things flow. When you're not in balance, then there's this manipulation, there's this contraction, there's this forcing, this trying energy that sometimes the manipulation can be helpful because you're wanting to get to a certain result, and sometimes the effort needs to happen, right? And sometimes it can take you completely out of the divine flow and the plan of the universe, right? And so just be aware of the intention and the energy behind the thing, the purpose and the energy behind the thing. So through the Eastern lens, the teacher and the healers always lead you back to you. When I was in my 10-day meditation course, I had questions. I had questions. I couldn't talk, but I had questions. This man did not understand at all what I was even asking. I swear, this meditation teacher, his English was so bad. And I asked him, I was like, wait, but you called us into the Q&A today, and what about day 2? Like, I really want to know what you told the people yesterday because we missed our chance. And he was like, presence, it doesn't matter. Like, I was so attached to knowing what they talked about the day before that it was like taking me out of what was here now, right? And so when my ocular migraine started, he was like, oh, you have enemies out there, the enemy of craving and aversion, right? Because I was so adverse to feeling the sensation of the migraine that it took me out of the present moment of just like being aware of the sensation. And so, one thing that I realized too through this practice is there's a saying that pain is inevitable, suffering is a choice. I think yes. And I also think that pain is a choice because really what's underneath the pain is just sensation. And so pain is a label, right? It's like we're just categorizing it as good or bad. Pain is bad, pleasure is good, right? Well, what's underneath of the pain or the pleasure is vibration, right? Is tingling sensation, is pulsating, right? And so even that name of pain is still associated to something negative. And so really like what I'm going to be guiding you into today and through the practice that we'll be doing is sensation is going to pop up throughout your body. And instead of labeling it as pain, label it as, tightness or tingling sensation. Label it as a sensation of what it is instead of attaching this negative connotation of pain to it. So I believe that pain is also a choice, right? And really what you are feeling is sensation, right? At the root level, at the gross level is what they like to call it, right? The gross is like the intensified feelings, right? So let's see. Through the Eastern lens too, a lot of what you're doing is witness. And so that's what we're going to be doing in our practice today is witnessing the sensation. This is the premise and the essence of Vipassana is bearing witness instead of, again, attaching meaning or narratives to the thing. And this is a really important, especially as a facilitator. This is a modality that I teach my women, and I think it's like module 6. I teach you guys a bunch of methods and modalities to create transformational spaces. And one of them is, conscious sharing and conscious witness. Because in the Western culture, we again are so attached to being the fixers, right? Somebody starts crying and you just reach for the tissues automatically. Somebody falls and you freak out, right? The baby, like a baby falls and it's like this whole to do. And then the baby starts freaking out because you're freaking out. You break up with your boyfriend and you have a bottle of wine because you think that's what you're supposed to do because you're sad. And even like in conversation, when we're doing this conscious sharing exercise, I'll invite each partner to sit there for 3 minutes and be in conscious sharing. So, for example, Steph will be like, there will be a certain prompt that Steph will be speaking into. And oftentimes, what you'll notice, whether you're participating or as a facilitator, is that people can't sit in silence, that it makes them actually really uncomfortable. And then they start to react unconsciously and they start talking or like they start fidgeting around. And so if the share is 3 minutes long and Steph is done talking at minute 1.5, then unconsciously I'm starting to like word vomit and we're taken completely out of the exercise when in reality the gold of the exercise is in the silence. And so through the Eastern philosophy, through the Eastern lens is like, how can I just be witness to the sensation that's coming up and whatever narratives are coming up without needing to associate into them. So seeing everything objectively as they are without attaching so much of you to it. Okay. I'm feeling like I want to get into this exercise. How is this landing for everybody? Yeah. Does anyone have anything that they want to say? You can unmute yourselves. Space for conversation. Have I pissed anybody off yet? Is anyone like, I thought this women's circle was gonna be this way? That's my favorite. Oh my gosh, I had somebody at a retreat and she came to my retreat and she was so disappointed because it wasn't the way that she thought the retreat was gonna be. And I'm like, babe, that's the whole point. Like, it's not supposed to be what you think it's gonna be. Otherwise, this would be your retreat and you would be in a different position than you are. So I'm so glad that I get to just like break people's expectations all the time. Surrender. Yeah, and that's part of it is like just trusting that whatever is happening and hopefully you can hear me. Why ever you're here, the reason that you're here is like there's a reason and that you can trust that. Okay, you're called into this container for a particular reason and it may not make sense now. I forget the exact words of the quote. If somebody knows it, go ahead and type it in the chat, but it's like hindsight, I guess, is 2020. Hindsight is 2020, or like there you can't connect the dots going forward, but you can looking back. Right. So just letting whatever arise and not needing to necessarily put so much logical meaning onto it and just trusting that whatever is kind of landing for you is happening and landing for a reason. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, neither of these healing modalities are wrong. They're just different. They're for different crowds, they're for different objectives, they're for different backgrounds, they're for different perspectives, they're for different people at different times, right? And you as a self-healer and as a facilitator for others can bring in the multidimensionality of your human. Okay. And that's what I believe makes a well-rounded human is bringing in all of your life experience. As a Peace Corps volunteer, they say that we're, what do they say? It's been a few years, that we know a little bit about a lot. So I'm like, okay, I'm not expert at a whole lot, but I know a little bit about a lot of things. That's not true right now. I'm getting there. I'm getting to the expert zone now, but okay. So let's see. All right, I think I'm gonna skip this part sometimes. Okay, practicing emotional alchemy. Right. Okay, do you want to go over this? So, my notes are so crazy. Sorry, 1 second. This is why I need a VA. Make sense of my mind. Okay, so you will have so many different teachers. Sometimes those teachers will appear in a coworker that pisses you off. Sometimes it'll appear as your mom when you're 15. Sometimes it'll appear as your dog when you're living in the middle of the jungle by yourself and you have nobody to talk to. Sometimes it'll appear as a yoga guru in India or somebody on the side of the street that's struggling and homeless. Your teachers appear in so many different ways, and your work to impact and influence others can happen in so many different ways. It can happen through merely being present because you hold such a high frequency, and by somebody merely being in your energy is healing for them. It could happen through a conversation with a stranger, you getting into an Uber, and because you're attuned to these higher frequencies, you might say something that changes this person's life. Okay. It might happen through a conversation with a sister or a loved one, telling him the truth about maybe a red flag or a green flag that you see in somebody that they love, where you might have previously held back, and then now you're so tuned into the truth and like really trusting in whatever is here for you to come up, that despite it being triggering, you trust that, yeah, whatever the truth is, that it's helping them evolve. Okay. If it's from your heart, then it'll help others evolve. So this could also happen through emotional alchemy processes, somatic experiences, which I teach and I support in my women's groups, through meditations. Like Steph said too, she used to do all of these like visualization meditations, right? That's a type of healing and a type of facilitation. And then there's like just the being and the consciousness ones, like Vipassana, which we'll practice. So I want to get into a practice. And this is a modality, like I mentioned, that was taught in my 10-day retreat. And it's called Apana meditation. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, if you want to stay seated in a chair, you can. What's going to be probably more healing for you is if you sit on a pillow on the ground, because it's a little bit more comfortable. And that's what I mentioned, is like as you start to press against and push up against these edges of comfort, then that's where the biggest growth happens. So I'm personally gonna get a pillow, put it on the ground, and join, if you guys feel called to grow and push beyond your edges even more, then you can join me on the ground. And what the practice of Apana is you're basically going to be focused on this triangular region right here. Okay. I'm really tuning into the inhales and the exhales. And I want you to be so attuned that you feel like your nose hairs move up as you inhale. And then as you exhale, you can feel your mustache hairs, or maybe not because you're freshly waxed, or you're just a hairless woman. Or you feel like the warmth of your exhale breeze over the top of your lip. And so this is just focusing your awareness right on this small region. And the reason that we're on the ground is because things are going to get uncomfortable. And through the practice of Vipassana and through Apana meditation, remember two things. Number one, that the only ever constant in life is change. In Sanskrit, it's called anicca. Anicca means rising and passing, rising and passing. So whatever is rising for you, know, like if there's a certain sensation in your body and you feel agitated or adverse to whatever sensation is here present, and you might want to move, just realize like this is coming up for you, and stay as as physically possible as it is to maintain equanimity, to maintain that equanimity. Okay. So what do I mean when I say equanimity? Non-reactiveness. On day 2, day 3, I was reacting so much to the sweat pouring down my face, the mosquitoes buzzing in my ear, and I literally almost threw myself into a panic because I couldn't maintain equanimity. Okay, because my inner child was literally screaming and kicking and crying. And so through this practice, I want you to just find a comfortable seat. We're going to be in this practice for some time. And again, notice as the narratives come up, and then bring your focus back to this triangular area around your nose. Okay. So you can place your hands comfortably on your lap. And then when you're ready, starting to close down your eyes if they aren't already. and shifting your entire awareness to the area around and in between your nostrils. Slowly, when you're ready, you can return some movement, maybe starting with a deep breath back into the body. Reintroducing yourself back here in time and space. Take as much time as you need. Hmm. So we're going to stay kind of in this process right now. And what'll happen next is I'm going to partner two of you with each other. So what that'll look like is, and Stacy and Megan, if you can join us on camera, then please do, because we'll need cameras on for this part. If not, I'll have Stacy and Megan work with each other. So if you guys can work together with your cameras on, that would be great. What you'll do is actually pin your partner so that they're the main one on screen. So let's do Heather and Megan, and then Melissa and Stephanie. So you'll just pin each other. Hi, love. It's good to see you. You're going to pin each other, and then once you've got each other pinned and they are center of the screen, just give me a thumbs up. And Megan Smith, let me know if you're able to join for this one.
One sec, I'm sorry. I just didn't want to get ready this morning, so I'm just my raggedy self. So that's kind of why I just didn't want to turn my camera on. But just give me a moment, okay? Thank you.
Yeah, of course. All right, okay. So what we're gonna do in this next exercise is participate, engage in that conscious witness. So one of us, the woman with longer hair, why don't you go through the activation first? And essentially what the activation is going to look like is the embodiment of anything that came up for you during the practice. So what that could look like, I'll give you an example. For me, just a few of the many streams of thought that came through my head were, oh fuck, I didn't check the time before I started. Oh my God. Oh shit, somebody left. Does that mean something about me? Anxiously checking my clock, itching all the itches on my body. And so what that'll look like, the embodiment of it, right, is like me constantly checking the clock. Oh. There can even be like some vocals, right? I don't know if you guys saw me scratching. I kind of like, as I was thinking about this, I was like, "Ah, I gotta remember, gotta scribble it down so I remember what I'm thinking, so I know what the exercise is that I'm gonna lead you guys through." Oh, and then like feeling all the scratches and like the itches, kind of, I don't know, like you see somebody on drugs or something, they're all like cracked out. I kind of like imagine myself looking like that. So this exercise is basically to take you through the experience of what was like moving through your head so that you can experience it on an energetic level and move it through your body so that it like you can have a purge of it, right? So in my Vipassana, that was really pretty apparent, and I'm going to mute myself for this next part because it's going to be loud, but like in my panic attack, I was screaming. Like it was 3-year-old cat. I was freaking out. I was shutting down and I was screaming. And I was screaming so loud to myself. I mean, I guess I'll do it now because I don't actually need to scream. But if you want to do that, to just like get it out and move the energy, then you can even do that. But for example, what it would look like. Right, like it's really intense. Like honestly, like when I was in that meditation, I gave myself basically like a headache. And then what you're going to do after is move into a place of equanimity. Like after you've kind of got all of your itches and your scratches and your frustrations and your sadness and whatever the grievances are that you need to settle, then again, like finding that balance and that harmony and that peace and that equanimity within. Okay. I'm going to say more on that after the exercise, but with your partners pinned, were you each able to get yourselves pinned so that you're looking at your partners? Yeah. Okay, Stacey, you're with Megan. And then the partner, the partner is just sitting, non-reactive witness. And you as a partner witnessing this woman, notice what narratives are coming up for you. Notice if there's like, oh, I want to like react. Oh, I feel a tightness in my stomach. Oh, I wish I could like meet her there. Okay. Is that clear? Do we have any questions? I think we're good. All right. So I am, and even like, I didn't tell you guys the time for how long that activation was, and it was intentional. Um, because yeah, and you can be in that expression too, if that came up for you. So I'm gonna mute myself. It's gonna be quiet. You're gonna be in your expression, and we are gonna rock and roll. You have 90 seconds. So the woman with the longest hair will be the observer. The woman with the shortest hair will go first in her expression. Okay, go ahead. Timer starts now. All right, that's the timer. Amazing. Yeah. And then just take a minute to honor your partner in whatever way feels authentic for you. Yeah.
Thank you for letting me see you.
And apologies, Megan and Talia, if that wasn't clear for you and Heather. I realized I was saying Megan, and there's 2 of you. So let me know if you guys need to do another round, and we can hold some space for you all at the end.
Yeah, did you say the woman with the longer hair is the witness first?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And
So
just to be clear, we're all doing different things, right? Because it felt like everyone was just watching. I don't know. I don't know. I was trying to just watch, but everyone was doing it, right? Or were we all just watching Stacey?
No, no, you were each in partnership doing it, but I think there might have been some confusion with Megan Talley and Heather because I said Megan and I wasn't clear which Megan. Maybe.
Okay. Okay. All right. I was for sure just watching you, Stacey, but I did notice. I was like, wait, is this happening?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And beautiful expression stuff. I'm so glad that you were starting to move some of that. Yeah. Thanks, babe. Okay. All right. So, yeah, Heather, why don't you go next with that partnership and then we can all hold some space for Megan Talley at the end. So, the woman with the longer hair in this dynamic duo. So, that's Melissa, Heather, and Megan Smith now. You all will be in your expression, and then your sister will just witness you in this. So, when you're ready, you can start. And for the women that were in expression now, returning to that equanimity, returning to the anicca, the rising and passing, the constant changing that's true in this 3D reality that we experience, this universal law. So return now to your equanimity. Return back to witness objectively. Amazing. And then when you're ready, you can come back and just show your partner some love. Thank you. So good, so good. Okay. Megan, sister, Megan Talley, how do you feel about letting us witness you in your expression? Yeah, okay. You have one, two, three, four, six beautiful sisters that are here witnessing you, holding you as you move through all of the ebbs and flows of your humanity. So when you're ready, babe, you can go ahead and start. Good. And when you're ready, restoring back to that equanimity, that balance within, returning back to the remembrance of the rising and passing. Because the only constant is change now. You are vibration. And just feel the subtlety of your vibration as you come back in to harmony with self. And then when you're ready, you can, open your eyes. Looks like everyone is honoring you already. Thank you. All right, ladies, welcome back. How was that? I would love to hear from a few of you if you want to unmute yourselves. Yeah, what came up for you during the meditation and then maybe the practice, the partner practice as well?
Well, in the light that I didn't want to be seen this morning because I didn't want to get ready. I just thought that was kind of funny. Just ironic that universe wanted me to be seen. And I think I was very fidgety in the meditation. I had a lot going on mentally and just a lot going on physically, but I just kept coming back to the triangle and just that calling back, right? And just sitting with it, sitting with the discomfort. And then what really helped me with seeing you all and seeing you, Stacy, was just a reminder of like, oh yeah, like we make these things so unusual. We make our expressions so unusual when it's so natural. And it's just there's so much judgment attached to it when really it's just our natural way. And it's okay. And it's okay to be seen and honored in our fullest expression, even when they're the ugly emotions that we really try to hide. And so yeah, just really powerful. Thank you.
I want to share. I feel really just light and free. I also had a Reiki attunement this morning, so I was very clear and open to begin with. So, and I meditated very easily, and I had the opposite problem of I wanted to kind of blast off to the ethers and to keep myself present and in the focus of this literal space. Kept feeling like pulling myself back and like being very present. So it was a really good experience to be so present with the sensations in my body after such a vibrational change this morning too. So thank you for that. Everyone too. Thank you.
I thought it was so interesting that like when you were reminding us, Kat, that we would be witnessing without having to fix or change or pass a tissue or whatever. I was like, oh yeah, no problem. Done that a million times, you know? And then it was still like, I still felt it in my body and wanted to go through, go through through the rectangle. And so it's just, a reminder that I'm sure it depends on the state of my nervous system and whatever else is going on. And that like mirror neurons are fucking real and powerful, And so like, how do we participate with being human and having that very intentional process of mirror neurons and still being able to skillfully hold space and not fix someone, And what a beautiful thing that like I was witnessing my own nervous system response to Megan, but she brought herself back to center. She didn't need me, So, and not she didn't need me in a like, I don't need you, bitch kind of way, but like she, like she brought herself back and like we need each other in different ways, right? So
Thank you, Stacy.
I have had a headache for about 4 days now, and I just felt like this practice was very powerful to see the ways in which I am labeling it as pain and can relate to it differently. So I'm really appreciating this whole experience of um, just the talk and then the practice. And I definitely felt some anger coming up of like, she didn't tell us how long. I know that was intentional. That's annoying. I don't want to be here anymore. My leg is numb. Now it really hurts. Can I sit with it? Can I move it? I have autonomy over my body. I know this is a practice. Just like lots and lots and lots coming up. So just really appreciative of being here and being able to um, move my body through the experience afterwards. That's something I've never done and really appreciate that as a practice. So thank you all.
Thanks, Heather.
Okay, can you hear me? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, lots of subtleties coming up in the body. That was fascinating. So it's very easy to kind of ignore these sensations, but really they have messages to them. And there were times where I wanted to tune into the messages, and then other times where I was just trying to be with the sensation. And then just how good it felt to be in that space. And then my future self was like, oh my gosh, I need to do this every day. Why didn't I sit this long? So that was really inspirational, but then it was funny because my brain's trying to go this direction and I had to bring myself back to the triangle. And that was nice when I would move to these other parts of my body to bring it back. And then as far as witnessing each other, that was just beautiful to feel witnessed and to be the witness. And again, to step out of that fixing space, but just to hold the space for the other person is really powerful. So thank you.
I think it's easy to put pressure on ourselves to want to hold a high vibration. And so, in order to do that, you feel like you basically can't feel anything else. But I think, being able to let yourself feel everything kind of in that radical presence, whether it's labeled as an emotion that's not high vibration, is powerful and often necessary, even though we don't think about it.
I can feel your, like right here. Yeah. 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 We got you, babe. Whatever's here. Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to hold that too. Mm-hmm.
And you're honestly, you're vibrating even higher because you're allowing yourself to be that and be seen in that. Because we vibrate lower when we stuff it. And so you're vibrating even higher now, and I honor you. Yeah.
Mm.
And thank you to Melissa for bearing witness.
Mm. Yeah, if we could all just be here with Steph and still be in that emotion and witness you as whatever comes up. We've got you. Stacy knows, one of our teachers says, you don't have to hold it together. That's why we're here in sisterhood. We get to hold it together as you come apart. Yeah, that what you're saying, what you're alluding to too, speaks to a number of the universal laws, the law of polarity, the law of cause and effect. And I would say it's like aligned with quantum healing and quantum energetics, like in metaphysics too. And actually, the deeper that you allow yourself to go, I tell this story pretty openly. I had an abortion in the beginning of 2022 that like rocked me. It fucking broke me. And during that time, I was studying, getting my master's in NLP, and I was studying quantum energetics, and I knew that the more I just let myself feel into the dark and let myself not know, let myself let go, let myself experience depression and the depth of that, that I would only, like with the law of polarity and what cause and effect, like you do experience equal and opposite. Like it's only a matter of time. The law of cyclicality, of seasonality, right? Women, so the shadow isn't permanent. Anicca, rising, passing, rising, passing. So with that, like the void, the unknown, the depression, whatever's here, the stickiness, like it'll pass too. And I spoke about this in ILA recently. It's just like you have to let yourself feel it. And actually, like the bigger that you let yourself feel it and the quicker that you let yourself feel it is the faster that it'll alchemize and turn into whatever. But feel it for the sake of feeling it. Don't feel it for the sake of needing it to turn into something else, right? Because then that's still craving, grasping, controlling, manipulation, right? So another thing that another mentor of mine likes to say is like the brighter you shine, the bigger shadow you cast. Right. And that's so true here. You're continuing, and I know a little bit more of your personal story too. Like in work, you're shining brighter and brighter and brighter. And it's inevitable that people are going to feel a certain type of way about it. There's going to be people in the shadow that are trying to dull your light, dim your light. Um, yeah, yeah. It's nature. It's nature. And I think the more that you can just understand that this is part of nature and the process that we experience on Earth, it becomes a little bit lighter, a little easier. There was something, a term that I'm going to coin. It's called the sexy shadow. And it's like people are so afraid of this work, so afraid of the shadow. I mean, I think you all are a little bit more equipped and attuned and willing to go there. But actually, like the shadow is such a beautiful place to be because it's the place where anything and everything is birthed and created. It's like the void, the unknown. What if you start to play in the possibility of that versus the victim of it, right? Yeah. Thank you, Steph. Yeah. All right, one more thing that I wanted to mention because Heather brought this up too with the headache. So about day 2, day 3 on Vipassana, and Vipassana is actually Goenka, the founder, or he's not the founder, but the one that really popularized the practice and made meditation centers around the world. He went to the practice because he was getting migraines. And he went to the practice because he was like, hey, I heard this practice will alleviate my migraines. And then his teacher was like, oh, are you fucking kidding? Like, it's going to connect you to God. Like, walk out of here if what you think is going to get like a healed headache. Like, that's nothing, right? And through this practice, I want to say like I did heal my migraines. And this was again like a chronic issue that I've been feeling because I've been so associated into the pain of the migraine. And by me like associating into it and attaching myself to it, it triggers it. And it's like grasping, holding, oh my God, I'm going down this dark hole. I'm gonna get this migraine. It can't get that bad. I don't want it. Like it's gonna incapacitate me. I'm not gonna be able to see. And so through that entire narrative, I'm actually creating more disease. And versus just like witnessing, it is like, oh, there's pressure there. Oh, there's tingling here. Oh, there's throbbing here. Right? And starting to dissociate and detach from the feeling and making it mean something about you. And the headaches persisted for a few more days. And I noticed as I went through, like day by day, the first night that I like finally let myself start to feel the headache, my vision was going really blurry. And I had to tell one of the supports, I was like, by the way, I might get an ocular migraine and I might not be able to see, and I might need you to tell me where to go because I can't see anything. She was like, that's okay. You don't need to see. You don't need to write. Like, you're good. You just need to meditate. And I was like, fuck. Fuck, you're so right. And then that night, all I could think about was my headache. All I could think about was trying not to think about my headache. And then the next night, it started to come on again. And I was like, oh, here it is again. Nope, don't think about that. Don't think about that. Think about this other thing. And then I started to create the new pathway and the new channel. And Megan and I were talking about this recently. It's like we're literally creating new neural pathways through doing this practice. And we're creating new energetic pathways, somatic pathways, pathways in your body for these old patterns to burn through, these old samskaras is what they're called in the yogic philosophy. And like we're not attaching to them, and then we're creating simultaneously new pathways. So it might take a few days, it might take a few weeks, it might take however long it needs to alleviate and relieve yourself of the pain and the sorrow and whatever's here. But again, rising and passing, nothing is permanent, right? And even the most dense things are constantly moving. The law of vibration, right? They're constantly in motion. So, yeah, I just want to leave that there. Does anyone have any questions? Or I'm curious how today was for you. Um, yeah, before I get into the next bit, and we're almost done. If you want to continue with this women's work, and just have a space to be seen and supported and held, then that's a possibility too. Like I mentioned, we'll be entering into a closed program starting the beginning of next year. And yeah, I'll be planning a in-person retreat for a portion of that too, so we can all gather and connect and feel each other and yeah, develop and deepen in sisterhood as well, and feel one another in the 3D. So I am here, a totally different day, a totally different setting than I was yesterday. And I am here to do something that scares the fuck out of me, that personally I'm not that great at. I'm pretty good at a lot of things. I'm really good at my job. I'm really good at supporting people. I'm really good at coaching people. I'm really good at helping people heal and repattern and rewire their body at a cellular level. I'm really good at helping women liberate themselves to the truth of their being, helping them wake up to the disembodied patriarchy and how it's impacted their lives. I'm really good at helping women heal their traumas, and turn traumas into triumphs. I'm so good at helping women alchemize the shadow and turn the shadow into the most sexy, alluring place full of possibility. And something that I'm working on getting better at is selling the fuck out of my work, because I am really good at creating the most epic programs, the most epic offerings, the most incredible nurturing spaces, and bringing in the most beautiful, beautiful women. And I'm scared shitless at inviting you in. I'm scared of getting rejected. I'm scared of getting rejected. I'm scared that the moment I start to invite you in and open my mouth and say, welcome, listen to how incredible this work is, how it's going to transform your life, that people will stop listening. And it's just not true. You know why it's not true is because I don't do that. Because when people sell me things, I get so turned on by it. My wheels start to turn. I get so excited. I'm like, oh my God, what if? Think about all the possibilities. The world is opening for me. And what I have to offer you is an opportunity to do exactly what I'm doing, to travel the world, to support people in creating light from within, from the shadowiest places, from liberating your lineage and doing work that transcends time and space, that creates legacies that transcend time and space, that help liberate your lineage in a way that nobody before you could. And you, my dear, are the chosen one. And so why would I keep that from you? Why do I keep that from you? And so I'm here a completely different day. There's no audience, but I'm here to do this for me first, because I have a pattern of letting myself down and delivering the most epic transformational experiences and then shutting down at the end when I actually have something really fucking incredible for you. And so I'm going to shamelessly invite you in. I'm going to sell the fuck out of what I've got going on, because I continue to channel and create the most incredible program that I've been working on behind the scenes. And it's still the most intimate space, and you get the utmost access to me. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And the content that's in this academy is unparalleled. I've not seen it anywhere. I've seen certifications that, help you facilitate women's circles, but it's not like what I've got, because no one can create what I have, because only I have the experiences that I have. Okay. Same for you. So I'm going to tell you why Illum Leadership Academy is the best place on earth. It is the absolute next place that you need to be along your healing journey, because every single certification program that I've stepped into has changed my life tenfold. Like, I could not even experience or imagine what was coming for me until I stepped into this space and I said yes with full faith, full trust, full surrender. I followed the breadcrumbs. I followed the hit. I followed what was right. I'm literally, what am I doing? I'm drinking this mocktail in Sri Lanka, like talking to you guys. No one's even here. So what is ILA? Illum Leadership Academy is comprised of a decade's worth, even more, even before then, probably 15 years worth of training, certifications, undergraduate education. I have taken at least 5, maybe 6, 7, I don't know. I stopped counting how many certifications I've taken, from subconscious reprogram to trauma healing to becoming a certified trauma facilitator, facilitating transformational spaces, becoming a health coach, a certified health coach. And the thing is, I'm here to give you exactly what I have taken from all of these courses and built into the most radical, most revolutionary, timeless piece of content that you can consume. And Illum Leadership Academy, again, is comprised of over 15 years of my best work. Okay. What I give you in Illum is life-changing. You are going to be an unrecognizable woman in just 2 months of saying yes to this academy. It's a year long because it's going to take devotion. And I fully believe in the quality of work and the integration of work that's being done here takes time. It's not just like, oh, let me get certified in 8 weeks to be a trauma healer and save your life. No. People tell me that the work that I do is better than therapy, and that they could have saved thousands and thousands of dollars and years of their life, of their healing path, because they work with me and they receive these modalities and techniques and perspectives and viewpoints in only a way that I can provide. And then they want to learn how to. So that's why I've created Illum. So I've packaged this in a way that takes you way less time, way less money. It's everything that you ever needed to know as a healer, a light worker, a teacher, an empath, a highly sensitive person, a black sheep, a guide for others.
The transformation starts with you. Okay, so this is a personal transformation. Like I said, when you come into this space, you go through an inner transformation that then manifests into your life. I was talking to a client yesterday and I told her just that. I was like, you are wanting things to change on a physical level, but you're not willing to do the inner transformation, the inner work to make the sustained change. That's why you continue to see yourself falling back to the old patterns. That's why you come to a Loom Academy and I teach you the exact methods for how to rewire your mind through the foundations of neuro-linguistic programming. I'm a master certified practitioner of NLP. I'll give you everything that you need to rewire your subconscious mind, to repattern your body, your energetic body, to create new pathways to thrive, and recode your body at a cellular level. You're literally doing epigenetic science when you invest and you choose to embark on this personal journey. Okay, so first you change how you see yourself. You see yourself as a Black sheep. You see yourself as a wild woman. You see yourself called to a higher path of liberation, of satisfaction, of nourishment, of rest. You're not meant for the 9-to-5 grind, babe. And if you are, it's probably not what you're doing now because you're here looking to live a more purposeful life. Okay, and so through this experience, the transformation starts the moment that you decide, yes, I'm doing it. Fuck yes. The moment that you decide I'm in, your transformation is already occurring. Okay, so the many times that I've invested in myself, I promise you, I am expanded by those investments. I'm expanded by those transformations. I want you to get serious about this. I want this to be an investment that stretches you because this work is going to stretch you. So energetically, you say yes, you step in, you invest yourself fully, and you're stretched, okay? So you're leaning into the edge when you say yes to this experience. That's what all of this work is about. Me right now getting on here recording this video to not a live audience is me leaning into the edge and just saying, fuck it. I'm here to break the cycles, break the unconscious patterns that have been holding me back and stuck in this cycle. You are the reason that you're suffering. You have the power to liberate yourself. Okay, so lean into the edge. Let this experience expand you, stretch you. And I want you to realize that by you saying yes to a Loom, this is a lifestyle. This is a whole woman transformation. This is a way of being, an identity as a light worker, as a healer, as a teacher. And again, it starts with you. It doesn't have to do anything with anybody else. You don't even need to tell anybody else that you've enrolled in this. In fact, you probably shouldn't in the beginning, especially if you're wavering, especially if it's scary, because the people that are in your life, they want to protect you. And they're going to feel that uncertainty. And so there's a card in my tarot deck. It's called New Birth Guarded Vigilantly. And so there's this seed, the seed sprout coming out of the ground. And it's full of possibility, full of the possibility of bearing so many fruits that have so many seeds. You can't even imagine, you can't even quantify the impact that this little seedling sapling has on the world. That's you, babe. That's you. So you are about to step into your life's work. You are stepping into your life's work. And what that means is that your life is about to be radically transformed. So what does it mean to do your life's work? It means that everything that you do becomes work. It becomes a living, breathing opportunity to stretch, expand, grow. It means that every moment that you breathe, that you inhale and exhale and gaze and feel the breeze against your skin, that you say no to the man on the street that's annoying you to get in his tuk-tuk, that you have these strong energetic boundaries that are clear, that this becomes a story, this becomes your life's work. Every interaction, every breath, you're evolving, you're growing. Once you realize the only constant is change, you will live more harmoniously in your life. more momentum, more flow state. So I want you to think of this place as spiritual hygiene. I mentioned that in yesterday's video. You get into these spaces, this is a long-term investment. We're here for the long run. You're developing sisters and relationships, your life. You're developing yourself for transformation that's going to change your entire life, change the trajectory of your life. I am absolutely 100% certain of that, because that's every decision. Constantly attuning you to the higher level, to the higher frequency. So I'm going to teach you everything that you need to know to cultivate and to sustain clean energetic boundaries, clean frequency, as well as cultivate and sustain an incredible community of women, of light workers yourselves that you're influencing and impacting in community. And sisters that are ready to go on the ride with you. So let me know, does this excite you? Does the possibility of you becoming the most radical, revolutionary, state-of-the-art, ancient future technology that is also always evolving, always changing, always upgrading, always loading, always increasing, always expanding, does that make you excited? Does the fact that you can travel the world, live your best freaking life, invest in your future, make the money back that you invest in this program 10x within months? Imagine what you invest in this program you can make back running one retreat, or getting 2 one-to-one clients, or getting 1 one-to-one client. You can do whatever you want. The world is limitless, and this program is really to teach you that you are an infinite being. Right now I'm recording infinite versus finite games, playing the infinite game versus the finite game. And you realize that as a human, we are playing these smaller finite games that are tangible and they have some rules to them in an infinite world full of possibility and potential and many lifetimes to actually do the thing. But imagine if you said no. Imagine if you didn't pursue your life's purpose. Imagine if you got old, you followed what society expected of you, you played it safe, you went to your deathbed. Also in the academy, I teach you multiple death meditations. Really, really powerful work. So go to your deathbed and imagine as though you didn't change anything in your life. You didn't pursue your life's path, your life's purpose, your passions. Imagine if you didn't have the conversation. Imagine if you didn't invest in a program like this and you just stayed in the 9 to 5 and something that was kind of sucking your soul and burning you out and really quite purposeless, but you were doing it because everyone else is doing it and it feels safe. So just imagine what that would look like. And then imagine the equal and opposite. Imagine if you said yes to yourself, but you said, fuck it, now's the time. If not now, then when? If not me, then who? Imagine that this lifetime you actually got to do the big thing that you were meant to do. And then you get to transcend these samskaras, these karmas, these unmanifested karmas that have been playing out in your life for lifetimes. Girl, I've seen myself in scraps in past lives. That is not why I'm here this time. I am here to create an abundance of wealth and prosperity and financial freedom in my life so that I can continue to share that with others. So my mission is much bigger than me. And when you invest in a program like this, it's not for me. It's for you, and it's for all of the women whose lives we're going to impact. We're going to go abroad. We're going to do incredible leadership retreats. The vision is so big. And I want to let you know that the price is rising soon. The price is rising so soon, from 6K to 9K. So now is the time to get in. And in fact, you know what I'm going to give you when you decide to get in now? What is today? Monday? Before Thursday. Why don't I give you a fast action bonus before Thursday? Before Thursday, I'm going to gift you a free spot on next fall 2025's leadership retreat, women's retreat happening in Taos, New Mexico. It's going to be prime leaf peeping season. It's going to be so beautiful. It's going to be the end of September, early October. The value is $3,500. You're going to get this for completely free because you decided to jump in today, tomorrow, Wednesday. $3,500 in value. Plus, I'm going to give you a pay in full bonus, a 90-minute strategy session. What's your medicine? To discover your sexy shadow and realize how to alchemize it and pinpoint the exact reason that you haven't said fuck yes to your dreams yet. This is an opportunity to do subconscious reprogramming and reprogram at the root so that you can finally start to pursue your dreams and release the fears, the blocks, the limitations, the old programming that has kept you stuck in these old patterns. I also have a VIP upgrade. Okay, and what's included in Illume? Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good. Over 60 hours of pre-recorded monthly trainings. This library is constantly evolving and growing, and you can get the best, the freshest, the newest, the most revolutionary, the most timeless technologies. You're going to get monthly hot seat coaching calls, a $6,000 value. You're going to get monthly facilitation calls, another $6K. You're going to get 12 monthly group expert or guest expert speakers, another $6K. Monthly manifesting magic calls, monthly women's circles, book clubs. You get meditations and scripts and worksheets and recordings and exercises and everything that you could ever possibly need to be the most badass transformational facilitator and guide for others. Value this is over $45,000 that you get today for $6K pay in full. It's even more because I'm now including the retreat and I'm including this pay in full bonus. So it's almost $50,000 in value that you're getting for $6,000 or $997 for the first month plus 11 monthly payments of $597. This is you investing in your future, and I want you to realize that this goes beyond a transaction. You are here to create lasting and transformational work that your mother couldn't, that your father couldn't, that all of those that walked before you couldn't. And you as a light worker, this is your dharma. Is to follow the path, to pursue your passion, to trust in the inner voice, and develop the confidence in yourself and in your dreams to finally take the leap and lean into the edge because you've developed an unwavering sense of trust. Trust in yourself, trust in your body, trust in your intuition. And that's exactly what I teach you in the academy. All of the ways to channel, all of the ways to be a multidimensional healer, from Eastern to Western modalities, philosophies, technologies, masculine and feminine energetics in life and business, NLP. I mean, the list is endless. I'm also going to teach you exactly how to get your business up and running, build your ideal client, your offer suite. I'm going to give you multiple formats for your offers as well. I'm going to give you multiple frameworks from the Becoming Her women's gatherings frameworks to the feminine untamed women gathering frameworks. They're completely different. I'm going to be giving you really unique channeled meditations that you're going to have scripts to just go off and do it yourself. The possibility is endless here. Possibility is endless. Okay, and so when you're making this decision, I want you to talk to somebody that has said yes and is in the position that you desire to be in. Come talk to me. Talk to another healer. Ask them their experience. Ask me my experience, what it's been like to get here. But don't ask somebody that's not in the position that you want to get into. Trust me, when I started asking my sister, my mama, my brother, my dada, and all this, that person, and the other person, I was asking the wrong people. So start to converse and interact and get curious with the people that are in the spots that you want to be in. Okay? Because trust me when I tell you that they're going to say you should absolutely do this. This is a multidimensional return on your investment. It's not just a transaction. You're not just paying $6,000 and you're getting this. You're going to be a completely unrecognizable woman for the best. Everything that I told you in today's training, channel from God. Okay, you get to become a clear channel as well and make really positive impact and influence on other people's lives and change people's lives. And imagine getting text messages and affirmations from the world that, hey, have I met you before? You seem so familiar. Hey, I probably should have started working with you a decade ago because you would have saved me so much time that I've invested with my therapist and nothing actually really changed. Hey, me starting to work with you has absolutely changed the trajectory of my life. And now I want to do this whole career path shift. Like these are the testimonies that I receive from the women that I work with. All right. So there's an incredible opportunity here. Remember, there is a pay in full bonus that's worth $750. The What's Your Medicine Strategy session plus a fast action bonus. A $3,500 women's leadership retreat happening in Taos, New Mexico next fall. Luxury women's leadership retreat where you'll be able to practice all of these methods and modalities yourself, plus provide your own bit of flavor. It's going to be so good, guys. I'm so excited to see who comes in. Thank you for listening to my cat talk. Yeah, I'm going to do this better next time. And I really had to show up here for myself and start to just like break down the old programs and the fears that are associated with this and invite you in because this is a gift and it's going to change your life. Thank you, ladies, so much.
Thank you. So good to see and meet all of you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you.
You're available if you guys have any questions. Yeah, thanks, friends.